A lot of things that we need to be talking about, by the way. I'm one of those people who are supporting Kamala, and I know you, my friends, many of my friends have questioned throughout the time, throughout the campaign period, questioned my support to the Democratic Party and to, most importantly, Kamala Harris, that was implicated of forcing down values onto us, values that we do not necessarily agree with. Values like LGBTQ. Her opponent, who was Donald Trump, who actually won these elections, has been very, very loud when it comes to saying that they're going to, cut down. He's going to cut down on funding to LGBTQ. He's going to ensure that Haiti is with debt. These are institutions that Trump has clearly stated that is going to withdraw his support from, or is going to withdraw U.S. membership from. So now that he has won, so what is Trump's win means for Africa? What is that? Because I think we also need to understand, because US is a power that you cannot ignore. Sometimes people ask me, what do with it? It is a country, it is a power, in fact it's the greatest power in the world that we cannot ignore. And whatever happens in the United States, its effect usually spill over to other parts of the world. Hello viewers, I hope you're doing well. Now my name is Mesha Kumondi. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I made a video like this, but now I think that I need to come back, and I'm going to be back here forever. So don't worry, we're here. So this is a channel where I post videos cutting across on various issues, current affairs in economics, international development, geopolitics, and even current affairs within my country. I believe that there's a lot of things that we need to be talking about, by the way. So I decided to make a video today on the US election, just ended US election. Now, I'm one of those people who are supporting Kamala, and I know you, my friends, many of my friends have questioned throughout the time, throughout the campaign period, questioned my support to the Democratic Party and to, most importantly, Kamala Harris, because this is a lady who was the vice president to an administration that was implicated of forcing down values onto us, values that we do not necessarily agree with. Values like LGBTQ. They have been on a campaign to support organizations that are pro-LGBT, organizations that are LGBT, and sometimes even forcing governments to adhere to or to agree to LGBTQ demands, or accommodate their interests, accommodate their rights in their laws. Now, many governments in Africa are yet to agree that, and many governments in Africa are still conservative. And because many populations in Africa are still conservative and they do not accept, or they're not welcoming of this kind of stuff, like LGBTQ. People believe in Africa that LGBTQ is a curse, is satanic, is something that God is against. And because majority of the population in Africa are religious, they don't agree. They don't buy this kind of stuff. But America, especially the administration that Kamala Harris was a critical figure on, has been on an endless campaign to spread these values in Africa. And that is why I think that is one of the reasons why many people, especially in Africa, was against her candidacy, was against her wishes to become the next president of the United States. On the other hand, her opponent, who was Donald Trump, who actually won these elections, has been very, very loud when it comes to saying that they're going to cut down. He's going to cut down on funding to LGBTQ. He's going to ensure that Haiti discourages all these things. And most importantly, I think the reason why most Africans actually voted for him is that the idea that he's protectionist, the idea that he's going to leave Africa alone, something that Africa has not seen for the recent time. He is going to leave it alone in his foreign policy, in a manner that, because usually we are used to imperialist nature of US involvement in Africa and even in other parts of the world. This is something that Trump is not into, because he's like, America first, and it's going to focus on America. And in fact, multilateral institutions like IMF and World Bank, institutions that have been used by US governments in the past, and even right now, to advance their interest in other parts of the world, especially in Africa, when it comes to resource extraction, when it comes to even overburdening countries, especially third world countries like ours, with public debt or with debt. These are institutions that Trump has clearly stated that is going to withdraw his support from, or is going to withdraw US membership from. And this is somehow Africa thinks that Africa thought that is something that is good for them, because for the first time they're going to have a major influence or a major power in the global scope. Especially the US, which has been complicated of massive involvement in African affairs and in unfair economic relations and forcing down things that we don't necessarily agree with on us. So I think that is mostly why I think people in a way did not welcome the other side and welcome Trump's candidacy. So now that he has won, and I separated Kamala because there's a way his campaigning was more of hope, more of everybody deserves to deserve an opportunity, everybody deserves to be happy, everybody deserves to be respected, and he really campaigned on the idea of hope, the idea that we have a brighter future, the idea that we need to be united as a people. And yes, many people bought that, but majority did not buy that. So what is Trump's win means for Africa? What is that? Because I think we also need to understand, because US is a power that you cannot ignore. Sometimes people ask me, why do I so much talk about US politics and everything in their affairs, and yet we have a lot of issues that we need to talk about internally. The thing is that almost everything that we talk about, US has something to do with it. It is a country, it is a power, in fact, it's the greatest power in the world that we cannot ignore. And whatever happens in the United States, its effect usually spill over to other parts of the world. These are not the ones or twice. Think like Great Depression of 1930 or 1921. So you understand me, you have to really, get to know what's happening in the United States, because a lot of things they do really spill over. As I was mentioning, instances in history, for instance, the Great Depression of 1929, where the Wall Street crashed, and the impact really, yes, and moving forward to World War II, also you see how US involvement really saved the world during then. Moving to the 1979, inflation, all crises, all these things affected the world. Coming to the 2008, 2007, financial recession, the greatest financial recession, affected the whole world. You see how the world was really impacted by what happened in the US, and all these things, they always originate from the United States, and so it's a very great power that we cannot ignore in our political conversations, in our foreign policy. That's why I'm so focused. So the question is that what is Trump's win? How does it affect Africa, and how is it going to affect Kenya's foreign policy? We all know right now that we are on a mission. Kenya is on a mission, the Haiti mission, to try to restore order in Haiti. It was a collaboration between Kenya and the United States and other countries to try to bring order to Haiti. Haiti has been one of those countries that have faced security instabilities, internally due to rise of gangs in that country, and so countries like the United States, Kenya, who pledged to restore order there. So right now we are on a Haiti mission where it is a partnership between Kenya and the United States. So the question is the Haiti mission gonna stop, or is it going to continue? Okay, we quite still don't know about this, because Trump has not made his statements about this. He has not talked about this, so it's something uncertain. But one thing that I'm very sure of is that US usually have a traditional policy of ensuring that there's order across the globe, because number one, they are the greatest power in the world. Though they have greatest competitors, likes of China, likes of Russia, but they will want to maintain that superiority. They will want to be that country that is the big brother that come and restore peace and order in other countries. It is what they did in Afghanistan. It is what they did in Syria. It is what they did in Iraq. And so I think that because of those previous involvement in foreign countries, is something that really played a role in their decision to enter into Haiti. But remember, they didn't enter into Haiti with their foot soldiers. That's why they commissioned us. They hired us. It's like they hired us to go there to play in their place. Well, it is something that we wait to see. But I know that there's high chances that Haiti mission will actually be stopped. Because Trump has a lot of issues. Because his policy was about America first, and we need to restore order in America, because he believes that America itself has issues that need to be attended to. He believes that other countries will be helped later, and that is after the if the United States is okay. Immigration, economy, inflation, these are major issues that are affecting most American citizens, and he believes that these are things that he will have to sort first. So I don't think if this Haiti mission will be given high priority or will be given more attention by the US government moving forward, because the president that has just won, or the person that has just won, really want to focus on domestic issues affecting the US citizens in the first place. Now there's issues of Kenya being non-major NATO ally. That is going to continue. There's no reason why it's going to affect that. But there's worries that the United States president, which is President Trump, there's high chances that he might want to withdraw from NATO, and this is what has been in his mouth for the entire period of the campaign. He believes that there's a way members of NATO has been unfair to the United States, that the United States contribute a lot of money. And by the way, there's other countries like Germany that he believes, according to his perspectives, he believes that countries like Germany and many other countries in Europe has not paid their share